In this video, I'm going to share a little story with you. In fact, it's my story in the hope that it helps motivate maybe one or maybe a few people, I don't know, to take a risk in your careers, what you do for a living, assuming you feel unfulfilled, empty in your day-to-day efforts, which was certainly the case for me for I'd say over 10 years. Or if you've taken a risk and it's not working out so well and you're feeling a lot of self-doubt, that's okay. In fact, I'd say it's pretty much normal. And those feelings of self-doubt, that negativity, was certainly the case for me not so long ago, to be honest with you, probably for a couple of years. And I wanted to make this video today. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but I do have a dead animal on my face for a reason. That's because it's Movember, which is a leading global charity, pretty big here in Australia, to do with men's health, where men grow mows and where men are supposed to talk about man stuff. And let me be clear, I have no affiliation with Movember. I'm not getting paid for this video. I just think it's a good cause. Now, I need to preface my little story because I know some people out there might be thinking this. Oh, here he goes, telling everyone I've made it in life. That's certainly not the case at all, because I know firsthand I still have a shitload to learn. However, I did take a risk in 2017 because I was unhappy. And through the process, which wasn't a smooth process, I found my passion, and I feel that's a story worth sharing. So, in 2017, I basically got fired from my corporate job, working as a sales director or a glorified sales rep for an American software company. Now, technically, I did hand in my resignation before I was about to get fired to save whatever ego I had left, but I just lost two massive multi-million-dollar software contracts to our competition in as many months. So I was definitely going to be showing the door, and that experience, getting fired, was a big smack to my confidence levels. It just so happened at the time that we'd been saving for a renovation. So I had maybe 6 to 8 months worth of capital in the bank, which meant I could work for 6 to 8 months without getting paid and still be able to pay for all the living expenses coming through. Additionally, at the same time, my brother-in-law and I had been dicking around on a website called Bike Chaser for about 3 years prior, an online marketplace for bikes. So at the age of 36, about to turn 37, kids, mortgage, you name it, I finally decided to take a risk. And I say finally because it was probably in my late 20s when I realized the career path, enterprise software sales, it wasn't fulfilling for me at all. The only reason why I had personally gotten into it was because of the money. However, at this time, late 20s, when I'm starting to figure out that I'm not really interested in this career path, I accidentally get my then girlfriend pregnant. We then bought a house, we then got married, we had another child, we bought another house, and all that costs a shitload of coin. So I stayed on what felt like the practical and logical path, which was the money-making path. And I kind of thought to myself at the time, who am I to complain about my career? I mean, I am so grateful to live in a country like Australia. I'm so grateful to have a beautiful little family, 2 healthy kids. So who am I to complain? But despite all those things that I was, and I still am very grateful for, I felt empty. I was going to work day after day, week after week, year after year, putting in all this effort and feeling passionless. And you know what? Probably a couple of weeks after I'd left corporate in 2017, I thought to myself, why has it taken me this long to finally have a crack at something? I mean, of course, money is the reason. But I thought to myself, if I run out of money in 6 to 12 months' time, at least I've had a crack. At least I've been able to scratch the itch and know whether it was worth pursuing or whether it wasn't. And I could go to my grave knowing that I'd had a little go. As it turned out, I did run out of money about 8 months after leaving corporate. So I sold my corporate wanker car. I sold my corporate wanker specialized bike. I sold some carbon wheels. I also didn't buy anything new. I had old and stinky clothes. Then I went to the bank and I took out a 50K loan, Aussie dollars. So I was looking for ways to keep myself going. And then as I'm eating into this 50K loan, luck would have it that my wife's little essential oil business that she had been building for a few years started to gain some momentum. enough for her income to go from, I'd say, pocket money style income to income that can consume mortgage costs and also general living expenses. So I'm about 12 months deep now, I'd say mid 2018, and I'm starting to experience a shit ton of self-doubt. It was growing, but it was really hitting me hard at this point in time. You see, Bike Chaser, the company I was working on, the marketplace for bikes, the light was at the end of the tunnel, but the more we worked on it, the more the light seemed to stay the same distance or even get further down the path. So I'm feeling, is this going to be my second failure in a row? Meanwhile, being in my late 30s, all my mates, they're doing well in their corporate careers, or they've taken over their dad's businesses. They're buying new cars, renovating their houses. They're doing really well. As mentioned, my wife's business was starting to take off. It felt like everyone around me was doing really, really well. And me, I was just doing really, really shit. But there was this really odd shining light emerging, which at the time I did keep to myself because experiencing a lot of self-doubt, lacking confidence. I didn't really want to tell anyone this, but as part of creating Bike Chaser, getting that off the ground, we needed to make content for the website. And an SEO expert said, you need to start making some videos. So I put my hand up and I said, I'm willing to make some videos. We were putting them on YouTube, and all of a sudden, strangely, I just fell in love with making videos. So here I am now, mid 2018, close to 18 months deep, out of corporate, onto my second big failure in a row. A lot of self-doubt. I even had a mate from corporate ring me up, I'll never forget this call, and say, when are you going to come back and get a real job? Despite all this, in 2018, mid 2018, I decided to create a cycling specific YouTube channel. And I would say it took another year or two of feeling and experiencing the self-doubt, but the light was closer in terms of the light being at the end of the tunnel with this particular project, and I was really passionate about it. I would have done anything and everything to keep it going. So when I reflect on the past 5 to 6 years, there's two big things that come to mind. Number one, if I didn't take a risk in 2017, there's a fair chance, not 100% chance, but fair chance, I never would have found my passion for making videos and putting them on YouTube, which would have been really sad for me, although perhaps I would have never have really known about it. And number two, I wish someone really drilled this into me when I left corporate in 2017 and took a risk. And that is, it's not going to be rainbows and lollipops for everyone immediately. It might take some time. It could take, as it did for me, a number of years. And during that process, you may experience self-doubt, but that's okay. That is normal. And if you can keep going, I would encourage you to keep going because you never know what you might find.